All right, here we go, guys. I'm back at it. Well, doing a video for my fam, Mr. WC here. Also showing you guys kind of how I do it. I just got through watching WC's video on his ZMR, and I had noticed he bought the PPM encoder, and he messaged me a while back about something like that, and I really wasn't even thinking about it. Um, Sorry about that, Mr. WC. I'm gonna show you right here on this right here, this little Sam, this S603. This is one of the first DSM receivers that I use that you can use for PPM, but you can see these are only for DSMX. These are for Spectrum, and I can't remember if WC if you had still got a Spectrum transmitter or not, or if you're using your Futaba. But this is basically what I'm using here on my Spectrum, on my quads right here. And this is basically a Lemon receiver, a Lemon RX from lemonrx.com. A Lemon receiver is a DSMX receiver for Spectrum, and they are coming out with them for not those, but S-Bus and them coming out for there for the Free Sky, Tyrannus, and stuff like that. But like I say, guys, this is my new build right here. I'm running the very new flight controller, which is the Race Flight. You have to be very careful with this bad boy. It takes a lot of setting up to do. You cannot be a noob messing with this flight controller right here. And so being they test a lot of firmware and ESCs with it, but still having issues with some ESCs, and this is one of the ESCs that I guess is having issues. So I tried to flash the firmware on the ESCs in Race Flight, and it bricked two of my ESCs. So now I have to order a Arduino Nano programmer to reprogram the ESCs again, which is not all too bad. But back to the matter at hand, Mr. WC. Like I say, that's basically what I use. Is what you can use these right here. Basically, you would take each. See if I got one up here somewhere. If I didn't throw them all away. But basically, I can just take this off of my encoder right here. This is basically a PPM receiver right here for Spectrum, which is basically a one-wire setup. Basically, it's 3 wires. Is basically what it is. So it's 3 wires right there. You got your ground, signal, and power. Basically, those are the same wires that come off your ESCs, which is these wires right here. And basically, what you want to do is just plug those in for your flight controller. You would plug them into each channel like that. Basically is what you would do into your flight controller. It's basically what you would plug those into. I don't know if I got one here on the Space One build. I don't know if you can see it. Or maybe, oh, it fell down. Maybe my QAV. Where'd I go? Okay, here we go. Right here. The QAV is a perfect example right here. Let me move this one out of the way and put the QAV 250 here in the frame. Now basically what it is, as you guys can see here on the flight controller, I am running PPM, which is the single wire, which is this wire right here, which is running right there. That's for PPM, which is the one wire. But you see the rest of those pins that's behind it. See if I can get it in there and show it a little bit more better for you guys. But I kind of got it covered for the ESC wires. But you can see this is basically what it would look like, WC, if you had all your connectors still on your ESC wires, they would look like this right there. See all those four right there? That's your ESC wires connectors right there. That's basically what your ESC was connecting to the flight controller. Instead of me doing it like this where I'm cutting all those connections off and I'm starting the ends directly onto the board, which basically saves for a ton of space and room, because with these quads you have to have quite a bit of space with these quads, and the slightest little wires that's hanging out or whatever and stuff like that will create vibration and throw off your flight controller, will throw off the gyro and stuff in your flight controller. But yeah, like I say right here, this is the side right here to where, man, I need to get that out, those wires out of the way there. Where you can see my pins right there, that's basically where you would plug in all your wires from your flight controller. You would plug them in from here to there. And that's basically how you would run it, instead of running all those extra wires like you have WCLC. You have like the GPS module in the back there. You still have your flight controller up top up here, which you need to put it in the middle section right here on your frame on some standoffs WC for that ZMR. You have positions on there where you can put them on standoffs. And that's basically how you do it, is like that right there. So if you don't get that, we might need to have to get in touch and send it to me, and I end up setting it up for you, get everything going for you, and we go from there. Thank you for watching.